sometimes there would just be an overwhelming smell of butter from the popcorn machine.
Really?
And that's when you knew it was going to be a good day.
Hey, Elise Baughman here with Anime Adventures, and today I am with Michaela Jill Murphy, aka Jessie Flower. We are at Anime Dallas. I'm so glad to be with you in person because, of course, we've done a virtual interview during the pandemic, but it's nice to see you in person.
And be around people again, yes.
People, yes. You missed the people.
So nice.
But yeah, we're here at Anime Dallas, and our booths are catty-cornered, so I keep running into her all of the time. But let's jump straight into everything. Of course, she is very well known as Jessie Flower for her work in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
As Toph Bei Fong, the greatest earthbender in the world, no question.
No question, of course. Can you believe that you're still going to conventions and talking about it all these years later? Because when did you record? How long has it been now?
It's been 16 years since I started recording for Avatar, which is crazy. Some people come up to me and they're like, you must have been pretty young, or I don't know, maybe you weren't young. And I was like, well, how old do you think I am now? I'm messing with them. But they're like, oh yeah, I guess, it was 16 years ago? What? They can't believe it. But yeah, I was 12 and 13 years old when I voiced Toph, season 2 and season 3. So I was her age, which is pretty cool.
Oh, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know. Do you get asked to do her voice a lot still?
I do. People ask if I can still do it because, now I almost sound more like a Zula. Like, I have a lower voice and I'm, more of a grown woman. But I still have 12-year-old me in there a little bit. I use the line from an episode called The Library, where she goes, "Look, there it is. That's what it'll sound like when one of you spots it." And that's kind of the line I use to get back into character, and it's also one of my favorite lines from the show. So. Oh,
yeah. Really? That's a cool. Oh, okay. Fun little fact. One of your favorite lines from the show.
But it's crazy. I definitely didn't think this would still be a conversation point. I mean, when you're an actor, you really don't know what's going to be popular. You're kind of just going from job to job. You're kind of like, hey, all right, we finished this one gig, back to auditioning. Hopefully I'll book another thing. You're not really like, oh yeah, this one's gonna make it. So. It's definitely been a blessing that was not seen coming. So it's also cool to just reconnect with all the cast members because I didn't really know them when I was younger. They were all older, so we didn't have Instagram, and I didn't have a cell phone, so I wasn't getting anybody's numbers to talk to them. That would have been weird. So there was no reason for us to connect. So now it's cool because I get to be kind of on the road with friends now instead of just a bunch of people who are older than me. So it's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I know that is when the convention world brings us all back together. How neat.
It's
and
cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's still mind-blowing that you're reconnecting with them all of these years later.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite moment? I know it was probably hard for you to remember, especially if you were a child actor doing this, but do you have a favorite moment from recording the show?
To be honest, I just loved when I would walk through the front doors of the whole studio. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there would just be an overwhelming smell of butter from the popcorn machine.
Really?
And that's when you knew it was going to be a good day. So I honestly just looked forward to okay, as soon as the door opens, is it going to smell like popcorn or not? And so when it did, I would go to the kitchen and get a fresh little bag of the popcorn and then bring it into the studio. It would be very food driven, similar to Toph. So yeah, it was kind of just little things like that. And then, I don't know, just the feel of, I know this is silly, but the feel of headphones, and someone mentioned this the other, a couple weeks ago when we were talking about it. It's you mentioned a lot of sensory things, which is funny because Toph would also kind of see that. So I remember the door handle, pushing the buttons to call in to the front desk, and just things like that, smells and sounds and feelings. So it's interesting that I have kind of a sensory memory to everything as opposed to visual or I don't know. It's so
That's really interesting that you have some of those same memories, and that's very much like Toph.
Yeah, kind of weird. I know. I mean, I do have terrible eyesight. I would never claim to be fully blind because I can still see colors, but without these contacts in, this was all just be a bunch of blobs and colored blobs sitting in the room. So maybe that's why growing up, I didn't have contacts and glasses for a while, and so I was kind of used to just extra taste, hearing, feeling. Maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know.
To perceive the world. Interesting.
I don't know.
Are you interested in voice acting, or just if you're a voice actor, do you want to further your career? My name is John, and I've taken classes from Elise Baughman, and her classes are amazing. She can teach you anything from the ins and outs of the business, how to create a character from just looking at a picture, and also just the voice acting 101 to set up a microphone and set up a studio. All this has helped me, and I know it can help you. If you want to learn more about this, go to elisecoaches.com for more.
Goodness, she's done so much. It's kind of mind-boggling. So there are so many things we could
Very
talk
kind of
about.
you. I feel like I've only done like some things.
Oh no, she's take it, but don't listen to her and we're going to talk about some more of her characters. But I mean, she sings, she's modeled, she acts, she does so much.
She's so kind.
And she's a kind person. But did you act and then sing, or did singing just kind of come organically out of your acting experience?
I started singing technically, if you ask my mother, before I could talk. So I was like humming and like
Really?
just making like sounds to songs very early on. So it's arguable that like the singing came first, and then the acting portion, the kind of performative portion, kind of came soon after. But I used to sing along to the cassette tape of Phantom of the Opera in my living room and like copy Christine's, her little, like just copy that all the time.
Wow.
And then I would go watch Cats on VHS, the musical. That was like a lot of my life when I was 8 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So,
That's not what I was doing at 8. You don't hear that much from 8-year-olds.
No, but I was very much into the musical thing, and I moved to New York after college actually because I tried to pursue musical theater a little bit, and then COVID happened. So then I moved back to LA and kind of got back into voice acting, and then the conventions started happening. Life is crazy. You go so many different directions, but I do have the musical theater bug that still hasn't been fully itched. Like I want to be on Broadway, Just I want, or
we're
West
stating
End.
it here.
Yeah,
Okay.
West End or Broadway. I'll take West End. Let's make it West End. Let's go to London.
Let's do it.
Let's go to London. But yeah, I definitely want to perform professionally in a musical at some point.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, I can't wait to see what that
I would love
is.
to.
Oh, that'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about 2 of your other characters that you've done.
So this is a fun one. Her name is Chaca. And she's the Yaha girl from Kronk's New Groove and Emperor's New School. I played her in the second movie and then in the series, but I did not play her in the first movie, which breaks my heart. But the reason I booked this is because in the first movie, the girl, I guess, her voice dropped or something, so they needed a replacement. But I copied her line, oh yeah? Well, that's not impressive. It's my loose tooth, see? All the time. I would just do it in my living room. Another thing I was doing when I was 8. I was just copying that line.
Yes.
So they needed a replacement, and I was like, I've been literally practicing this for like a year.
Which is so cool to hear, because
There you go.
voice actors or people who have never acted before, you hear them say, oh, I'm just copying voices or copying actors.
But people
so
need
it
that.
works.
Yeah, oh yeah. And
That
the voice
is
of the voice of Uncle Iroh in Avatar, when Mako passed away. Bless that man. Greg Baldwin had been kind of doing an impression of him, unbeknownst to him, because Mako was in a musical called Pacific Overtures as like the lead singer. So like Greg had been copying his singing voice and his sound for years, and then they needed a replacement, and boom, there he was, ready to go.
Boom. Okay.
And so this is Young Franny. This is my spirit animal. She is in Meet the Robinsons. This is the young version of Wilbur's wife, and then you see them kind of later grown up. She's the frog girl. The my frogs. You think I'm crazy too, don't you? Yeah, she's great. So anyway, very sassy, very froggy. The after party for this was insane. The Jonas Brothers sang like a couple songs for the soundtrack, so they were there. That was cool. Yeah, it's such a good movie. I want them. Another thing we're stating here at Anime
We're
Dallas.
stating here, Anime
They
Dallas.
should make a live action of Meet the Robinsons, and I should play the mom grown up.
Okay.
Full circle. I
mom
voiced her when she
grown
was
up.
young, and then I should play her in the live action as the adults, as
We're stating
as
it
Mom
here.
Franny. Yep, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
So many things have been stated here. It's going to happen. You're welcome.
Yeah,
I'm going to
thank
make
you.
it happen
Thank
for you.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
just it's the good vibes of the
Yes.
weekend. It's all falling into place. I can
All
feel
falling
it.
into place. Okay, I've got to do my thing and copy one of your voices, because I do that on almost every
Which
video.
one do you want to copy?
No, you tell me. Which one should I copy?
Ooh. Okay. Well, let's stick since Toph is a favorite. Let's
Okay.
stick with Toph, and let me give you a good line.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, I guess we could do that same line. Oh,
Yeah, we could.
Let's do Melon Lord. Melon Lord's a crowd pleaser. We
Okay.
love Melon Lord. So,
Okay.
I am not Toph. I am Melon Lord. I am not Toph. I am Melon Lord. Well done. Well done.
Okay, before we go,
Yes.
because it is crazy her like roller coaster of a life from child actor to Yale to all of these things.
Yes.
Give me the Cliff's Notes version of everything that you have done.
Okay.
I'm going to time you.
Michaela Jill Murphy, aka Jessie Flower, a life overview. Go. I was born in southern Indiana, Scottsburg, Indiana, tiny little town of like 5,000 people, to Southern Baptist Christian grandparents and family. And my mom had always wanted to move to LA to be an actress. And so when I was 4 years old, she's like, we gotta get out of here. So we went in a U-Haul and we went to LA in 1998 to the Sunshine State. We moved around about 22 different times. Along the way, I started doing commercial work and then doing voiceover work. And I also did some gymnastics in there. Then I was like, I'm gonna stop acting right after Avatar and go to school. So I did like middle school, high school, like a normal kid, whatever. And I was super biology and math oriented because I wanted to be a surgeon. So I was like focused solely on school, got into Yale, was like, yeah, I'm gonna be pre-med, Ivy League. I was making it happen. And then I literally couldn't sign up for biology. And I was like, what's happening? I started short-circuiting because I had burnt out because I'd been working since I was 5 years old and I was tired. So along the way, I found screenwriting, which I fell in love with. I ended up majoring in screenwriting. I moved to New York to try to do the musical theater thing. I wrote a couple of original songs, sang with a cover band, auditioned for, Dear Evan Hansen, Wicked, and all these things. I got called back for one thing over the course of 3 years. It's hard, guys. And then COVID happened as I was kind of starting to make more of those connections, and the callback was for a Dear Evan Hansen tour. I'd just kind of done that, and I'd seen that casting director a couple times, but then I was like, darn, okay, what do I do? Do I go back to LA? Do I try to go back to New York? What should I do next? And so came back to LA, got back into voice acting a little bit, and I did a video game just recently that's coming out in the spring.
Ooh.
So it's a remake of they're doing a big remake thing. That's kind of all I'm gonna say, just a little hint there. And started working on a script. So I miss singing with a band. Like, I don't have my cover band in LA. There's not as much theater, so I'm missing the singing, I'm missing the dancing. I just turned 28, and so my body is like, hey, are we still being active? And I'm like, yes, wait, hold on. Yes, we are.
Not done.
Yes, we're not
Keep
done.
going.
And I also do some trapeze and some pole dancing and some lira and stuff like that. And I have a dog.
Wow.
Okay, that was a little messy
Ta-da!
all over. Ta-da!
Okay, and on that note, thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Of course.
See you
Thanks for
later.
having me.
Bye.